Welcome to PA Timber Goose. Very soggy Friday morning. Currently I am above Strausstown off the interstate, and Route 183 is behind me. We're going to do an overnighter on the Appalachian Trail. Today I'm ready for the rain. We're supposed to have some afternoon thunderstorms. It's very foggy on top of the mountain today. I drove by 2 or 3 times because I couldn't find a parking lot. It's that thick in here. As soon as you get down off the mountain, it's clear. So the fog is hanging on the top. Got my rain gear on today. Everything is in a dry bag. You have 3 other hikers parked out at the gate. There's a pond hiding back in here. Might try doing a little fly fishing. Let's see how that goes. Hopefully nobody's in there. Got some fall colors coming out. Fortunately it's still foggy today. Hopefully some of this will burn off. See what we can find along the trail. I'll test my fire making ability later on in the day since everything is wet. See if I can find some dry tinder and get a small fire going. Here's our first evidence of wildlife. There's a nice buck rub on this tree. This is fresh. Still has some work coming down. Here's some shavings here on the ground. Usually when buck are working their territory, they like to rub their antlers and make a rub line up and down the easiest trails, which in this case is the Appalachian Trail. Deer have a lot of glands on their head, and when they rub their head on there, it actually leaves their scent on there. So any passing deer passing that rub line will rub their head on there also, whether it's a buck or a doe, and leave their scent on there. And basically they're just saying that they were there. Deer are very social animals. They actually are very vocal, but we don't really hear the vocalizations unless you are a hunter and you spend a lot of time in the woods. Eventually you'll hear them vocalize, even the doe. But generally they are very social. They groom each other too. Hopefully that shower will hold off. Still very foggy in here. It's so peaceful. We have about 4.5 miles to get to my campsite. You can hear the rain coming down off the trees. Here's our second reroute on the trail. This actually is the old trail on the right. You can no longer walk down that due to the blowdowns. How many washouts are on that side? Last time I was here, I made the left and I walked down this side. This trail goes up and around. Welcome to Rocksylvania. Lots of slippery, slimy rocks. Just gotta take your time going through the rocks. We have big rocks, little rocks, giant rocks the size of a car, rolling rocks, ankle snappers, and if you fall on them, you're probably going to break your fingers or break your nose. I've run into 2 people with broken fingers and 1 broken nose because he fell on the rocks. He had an L between his eyebrows where he fell on a sharp rock. Here's our sign from last time. Here's another reroute sign. Appalachian Trail relocation, Brooks County High Point. Here's another sign for the old trail. Every time a trail, when the AT gets rerouted, they try to make it go over the boulder fields or the rock piles, so they don't wash out from the rain. But I don't understand why they do that. There's a lot of nice forest in here, and they make the trail, especially in this area, it zigzags over top of every boulder field in here, which before it kind of went out around it, so it makes it more treacherous for the hikers. On these wet slimy rocks, you will roll your ankle or break it. That's taking a lot of people off the trail very quickly. There's enough random thoughts for the day. Now we're just going to enjoy the woods. It's kind of creepy looking in here. This looks like a horror movie. See the fog creeping in, you can hear the rain. Virtually no sounds in the forest today. No birds. You're just waiting for something to come out. You're just waiting for the zombies to come out of the woods after you through the fog. Here we are at the power line. Can't see anything today. We still have a lot of thick, heavy fog. If it was clear, you could see all the way down to the interstate at the bottom. And you can see all the way to the mountain on the other side. This side here has no view. Even if you go all the way to the top, you really can't see anything. We're more than halfway now. The trail's still going down. We should be at the campground at the bottom here very shortly. This side here is very beautiful. There's a sleeping bag there. Somebody dropped the bag. Well, they left it there and didn't want to carry it. This side here is very beautiful. It should open up here a little bit. See if there's anybody camping at the bottom. This side here is actually one of my favorite spots on this trail. There's not a lot of boulders on this side. Just small rocks. It's really a shame it's foggy. It's usually a very beautiful view going down that pipeline. Visibility today, about 50 yards. That's it. It's been pretty quiet. The only wildlife I saw today coming up was about a 2-year-old doe with 2 fawns. She was pretty young. They were out in the field eating some delicious grass in somebody's backyard. Got a leaf on my hat. Hey, like Afro camo. Wait, can't see it, can you? Nope. There it goes. Blending in with my environment. It's fairly open. Lots of fall colors in here. Peeking through the fog. The white blazes are getting closer. We're almost at the bottom. There's a campsite there. Some of these campsites down here are awesome. There are quite a few spots to camp down here. I still haven't tried out. I still haven't used my tent. I'm still working on the hammock. When winter time comes, I'm going to pull out the Nemo 2-man tent, and we'll try that when it gets colder. But it's still pretty warm. Still rolling down here. Got quite a climb going down here. Blue jays are very vocal down here too. Maybe they're following me. Lots of steps. All right, I'll turn you back on when we get to the bottom of these steps. I can hear some water. ET goes up this way. Here's a campsite here. The water's right there, so the lake should be there. Got another tunnel here. Very slippery. Let's go down here and take a look at this small pond on the side of the mountain here. See if there's anybody down here. Made my way down to the pond. It's very beautiful down here. Gotta climb down. It's a little rough, but it never disappoints. It's worth the effort to come down here. I'll take a pan around here. It's quite a climb down in here. There's a campsite there. This area gets a lot of overnight use. Every time I come down here, it seems like there's somebody here. We'll walk around to the dam at the other end here, and we'll give you a vantage point from looking up the other way. Very beautiful in here. There are no words to describe this. So awesome in here. Clean water. Makes you wonder how far down there that goes. Bet that water's really cold. Last time I was here, I saw a couple fish in there. So we're going to throw a couple flies in there. Definitely very beautiful here. This cement dam seems to be out of place in here. I wonder how long this has been here for. There had to be a road back here somewhere. Some point in time. This water could have been used by a coal mining company down below. Let's put our fly rod together here. Take a couple casts out there, see what we can do. Not even a bite. I don't see anything in there. Last time I was here, there was a few brook trout in here finning around. It's got a nice beautiful green tint to it. I imagine that water's fairly deep and cold. It's been a long day. Everything I have is soaking wet, so I'm all set up to spend the night here. I have my housefly rain tarp up. I have my hammock under there. All my clothes are drying out. Let's see if we can get a fire started with this wet firewood. Test my fire making ability here. I have 2 Blackbeard fire starters and a Bic lighter. I did not prep any wood. I just grabbed everything that I could find laying around. There's a dead tree right behind me, so I just took the bark off of that. That was fairly dry. Let's see what we can do here. Nothing like a Bic lighter. Oh, too much. I put it out. Get them going here. Even though the hemlock boughs are wet, they'll still burn. Like gasoline. Here we go. One campfire made out of wet wood. Everything in here is soaking wet. So basically, I'll usually just look for some dead trees like this one here. Usually this is fairly dry. You can burn this. There's some on the ground here. You can just kind of look through here and find some dry pieces. It's always something to burn in the woods if you're willing to just look around and see what you can find. This bark is perfectly dry. I see a lot of deer sign in here and some raccoon sign. I wonder what kind of visitor will come, a deer or a raccoon. I see signs of both of them. Delicious mocha latte. Swiss Miss and Folgers. It's very delicious. The last 2 times I was here, and I looked in that small pond down there where the water's coming out, I saw some trout in there and a few bluegills. He must have got cleaned out, judging by how much mess is around that little pond, around all the campfires. He must have threw some bait in there and pulled them out of there. When we came in, there was a trail that went to the left, and there's 2 ponds up there on the left you can also fish in. I never caught anything out of there either, but I always see people fishing in there. That small fly rod I have, 6'6" 2-weight. It's 4-piece, and that's probably one of the better pieces of fishing equipment I bought. It's so small I can take it anywhere. It's a lot of fun to catch small fish and big fish on that. You can really put a nice bow in that rod from tip to butt, and it won't break because it's fiberglass, so it's very whippy. The reel on my fly rod actually costs more than the rod. I think I paid $50 for the rod. The reel was about $140. It came from LL Bean and it's machined aluminum. It has a click drag on it, so if when you crank it up, you can hear it clicking, and when you pull it out, when you got a fish, you get the same cool buzzing. You get this when a fish gets it too, and they pull that fly line out, you get that same cool sound when they're pulling the drag out. So peaceful here. I think we're going to call it a night, and we'll resume the video tomorrow morning when I get up. Tomorrow morning the breakfast will be instant rice and a single serving of Spam. What a lovely morning. Pouring down rain. Nice and dry this time. I still have all my clothes hanging up on my canopy line. Drying out from my soaking yesterday. Hopefully this will blow over in an hour or 2. Nothing like sleeping in a hammock. I don't have the undercut for my hammock. I actually have my air mattress inside of my hammock. That's the best decision I ever made. It's nice and warm in here. I have my Outdoor Vitals quilt on top, 850 fill power. This keeps me very warm. It was actually very warm last night. Starting to sweat a little bit. Got my Eno Rainfly Sparkle above me. There's lots of room in here. I've got a couple raindrops coming in on the end. And when it stops, I'll go out and get my food out of the tray. My heel and ox chair in here. Should have brought my food in before it started raining. I could have made breakfast in here. Got about a 4-mile hike back to where I parked. I got to climb up out of this hole, so that'll be another good workout on my legs. All right, we'll see you in a couple hours when this rainstorm stops. Welcome back. The rain finally stopped. It's kind of cramped in here. I'm huddling under my carpet's starting to sag from all the water. It's time for some breakfast. I have a single serving of Spam. I'm going to cook this over my stove on a stick because I can't get a fire going. And then we're going to break that up and put that in some instant rice. A freeze-dried meal right now is going from $12 to $15. This is about 25 cents and this is $1. So breakfast for less than $2 is hard to beat. Trying to get away from the backpacking meals, finding a cheaper alternative. They are getting very expensive. They are delicious, but I think they're overpriced. All right, let's start on our breakfast here. This is a very damp, cold morning. Well, I think we're going to try this because that's not working. I'm going to put this in here. With a little tiny bit of water. Try steaming or Spam. There we go. I also bought an adapter from Amazon for my fuel can. I have a small fuel can where you can put the big fuel can on top and screw the adapter on. Screw the little can on the bottom and then open the valve and it'll actually refill my fuel can. I got about 7 or 8 fuel cans and each one of them has a little bit of fuel in there, but not enough to take on a trip. Now I'm going to empty all my fuel cans into this small one and use them. It's much lighter. I also bought a smaller stove from Amazon for about $16. It only weighs a few ounces. My next trip I'll have one in there. You can take a look at that. Trying to save some weight. Pocket Rocket's been with me for many years. It's never let me down, but I want to try something a little lighter. I'm going to trade up some of my gear, get more heavier clothing, put more warmer clothing in and try to lighten up my gear. This is a rice cup. This is what you use to measure out rice. Instant rice is a 1-to-1 ratio. So I have a cup in this bag. I'm going to put a cup of water in here. This is a very easy meal. Bit lighter, new Pharaoh rod here. Turn a pocket rocket back on. And let that come up to a boil. Instant rice is very inexpensive. You can get a whole box for a few dollars. And usually what I do is I pre-measure all my rice. So it's a cup. I don't have to measure anything when I'm making stuff to eat early in the morning. I can just dump it in the pot and it's ready to go. Let your water come to a boil. Put that in there. Mix it around while it's boiling. Put the lid on it, wait a few minutes and it's ready. And we're going to put a tiny drop. I'm going to put a tiny drop of olive oil in there. If you want to add spices, you can put your spices right in the bag too. I have some salt and pepper in that bag already. I did that at home. A little bit of garlic powder. Starting to steam already. No. That's not good. Oh, I did set my pant leg on fire. Okay, now we got a nice rolling boil there. Let's pour our rice in here. Here we go. Got a nice rolling boil. I'll Turn our stove off. I have my Spam on my pot lid here. Dump this back in here. And we'll let that sit there for about 10 minutes. Still raining. Hasn't let up yet. I had a little tease there. The rain stopped and the sun started coming out, so I went outside. And then it started raining on me again. So here I am again, hiding underneath my tent, enjoying some mocha latte. Thanks for coming along on our hike. Hopefully you enjoyed the beautiful scenery and the fall colors despite the rain. I will put a location where I'm at down in the description. It was a very chilly night last night. Everything is soaking wet. My pack's about 10 pounds heavier. My Osprey Atmos can handle the weight. It's built like a tank. Tried some new delicious meals. And they were very tasty. Less than $5 a piece. Still raining, still hasn't stopped. As always, give this channel a like. It helps the algorithm. Hit that subscribe button. Help my channel grow. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to the family. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching PA Timber Ghost. Nothing like a good hike in a rainstorm. You get your blood pumping. Get a good workout. As my pack gets heavier, it soaks in more water. Despite how wet it is, it's still very beautiful in here. The ferns are turning a nice golden color. You can see the beautiful iridescent yellows in the trees. We're not fogged in today, so you can actually see the forest. Should have brought rubber boots. The trail's underwater. This looks like a trout stream. There's a need or a couple fish in here. Nothing like a good foot wash. Let me put the fly rod back in. Put my fly rod back in the case here. I'm gonna look for a place to set up. Put the fly rod back in the case here, and we'll find a spot to set up the head. Where's that? Yeah. Put my fly rod back in the case, and we'll find a cool spot to camp out for the night. I think around 3 or 4 o'clock we're supposed to get another wave of rain showers coming in for the evening. The gas line looks much better. You can see the interstate at the bottom now. You can see all the way to the other mountain. Very cool view. Oh, it's so beautiful here. I wish I could just put that image in my head and just keep that there forever.